It is no longer news that one of the most important aspects of a man's life is his finance, and his ability to handle and manage them describes how far and well his living will be. Finance determines to a large extent the quality of a man's life because it is required for his everyday expression, and because it is the engine that drives life and the economy of man. It is, therefore, necessary that a man who will live a good and pleasant life must not only know how to have and make money but also how to manage it. It is also never enough to know how to manage money, but also how to multiply it. True living comes from knowing how to multiply money. In the face of ever-rising inflation and a downward trend of employment and avenues of making money, it becomes very important to have money knowledge and understand how to utilize it for one benefit. There are 1,000,001 ways in our world to make money. The only difference between those who have the money and those who don't is knowledge, information. Thus, the starting point to having money is 1. Seeking money wisdom. Information about how to make and have money is widespread on the internet. All you need to do is Google. However, these usually are general knowledge. To really know what to do to acquire wealth, one has to seek specific knowledge. The economy of money is varied and wide, therefore it is not possible to pursue just the general knowledge and information about money and be successful. Otherwise, bankers, accountants, and financial analysts would be the richest people on earth. More so, real money is not available in the general information market of money. It is nevertheless available in the specific information market about money. Therefore, instead of Google, one should better seek knowledge and training and in books that are niche specific and which teach how to make money in those niches. As it concerns training, you must also ensure that your money trainers have social capital. That is, they are trusted and worthy to teach about money. There are so many people out there claiming to offer one training or the other, especially on the internet, offering one master class to another. Many who have no idea how to even make money but have discovered that online classes offering courses on money is lucrative, but their knowledge is neither practicable nor necessary. However, when this money knowledge has been acquired, the process set in motion from a specific niche of business or employment, the next step is to 2. Build financial discipline. Financial discipline can never be overemphasized. It is the reason why many people are still poor. It is not because they don't know how to make money, but because they are not disciplined enough to manage the money they make. Thus they live from hand to mouth and below the poverty level. One of the culprits of financial indiscipline is the inability to delay gratification. When you spend more than you earn or at the instance of money in your hand, you already know what to spend every single penny on and will not mind spending it all. Then such a person can never have financial freedom. Financial discipline builds wealth. Financial indiscipline will lead to poverty and lack. Delaying gratification is necessary to come out of poverty and lack. Nobody who becomes successful in life goes about buying everything they see or spending on enjoyments and lavishing lifestyles. The process of building wealth takes time. During this time, one must live prudently and intentionally. This is only when poverty can be overcome. Delaying gratification will entail wearing that 5,000 naira pair of shoes even though you have money to afford 45,000 naira shoes, or wearing that no-name shirt instead of a 50,000 naira Gucci. It was Jay-Z who said, if you can't pay for a thing 3 times over, then you can't afford it. Learn to live within your means. Those who are intentional at building wealth have no business trying to impress others just to gain high social status in their eyes. It is better to suffer now for a moment while building your wealth portfolio than to spend it all now to show you two can ball, and then suffer later at old age. Build and save for the future. 3. Find a mentor. In building wealth, it is important to give a place to a mentor. A mentor is anyone whom you attach yourself with to show you and guide you on the ways to do and achieve the things you have seen them achieve in their own lives. The processes of life are dynamic in nature. There is no one rule for living life that works for everyone. Thus, people are bound to make mistakes in their pursuit. And there are a lot of bottlenecks one will inevitably have to grapple with and overcome before success can be achieved. What mentorship does in this regard is that it helps you navigate the dynamic processes of making money or achieving your money goals with ease and minimal risk. Mentorship shows you the way that has been tested and trusted. It helps you avoid making the same mistakes they have made. It is reasonable to ask one who has achieved a thing how he or she achieved it. In this way, your chances of mistake is slim as compared to you trying to do it all by yourself. And you will be more prone to learning from your own experience instead of leveraging on others' experience. So to seek out success financially, get yourself a mentor who will be willing to help, guide, and show you the way, someone you can be accountable to. This is very important if you must attain your financial goals. 4. Have a mindset evaluation. Learn to evaluate yourself to see how you're doing in relation to your money goal. Many of us set goals and we forget about them. We just move haphazardly and unintentionally about those goals, and we don't even know when and if we achieve them or if we don't. It is important to always appraise yourself, evaluate yourself, and see how things are working out. You should always know where you are at every point in time on your money goals. Don't leave it to chance or trial and error. Be intentional, keep notes, and let your mind be always about your goals. Thus your actions will be guided accordingly as compared to when you forget about them. It will be easy to become a compulsive spender when your money goals are not at the forefront of your mind. You can easily take your limited money and spend it on something you do not necessarily need, or on frivolous activities in the spur of the moment. 5. Be present in the moment. In learning to make money, you must learn to be still. There are ideas that will not come from a noisy environment. Stillness brings fresh inspiration, sharpens your mind, and helps you think and process faster. Noisy environments pose great distractions. In this area, the mind wanders a lot because there are too many things to cogitate on and process. Good ideas can seldom enter into such minds. As you know, ideas are real money. They are money in the intangible form, and when it becomes tangible, it produces the physical financial equivalent. 6. Poor thinking and rich thinking. The poor become poor because of what they do and how they live. In the same vein, the rich become rich because of what they do and how they think. So what is the difference between these? Scarcity mentality. The poor have a scarcity mentality. They always believe that things are bad, and no time is the economy is ever good enough for them to make a better living or make money. Also, they never think they have enough money to be invested or multiplied. Their sense of limitations is often amplified when it comes to investment. They tend to hold on tenaciously to the little they have. They never see it as a potential seed but as bread that they should be sustained on. The rich, on the other hand, possess an abundance mentality even when they don't have one. They believe they will get it. And before you know it comes, you see it all begins in the mind. Once the mind is healthy and positive, anything is possible. But the poor don't know this, or they find it difficult to accept and practice it. The abundance mentality of the rich keeps them rich, and the scarcity mentality of the poor keeps them poor. Therefore, to come out of this quagmire and strive for success, the mind must become an abundance mentality. Excuses. The poor and people who want to remain poor are very sound at making excuses. The time is never right to do the things which should better their lives without one form of excuse or the other. Either they don't have help, or they don't have resources, or the government is not supportive, or the economy is bad, or it is a scam, or it won't work. There is always an excuse, especially when they are faced with opportunities. The excuse is the slogan of limitations and poverty. No one given to excuses ever become better or attain better in life. Thus it is a recipe for poverty and remaining poor. The rich and people with a success mindset do not live like this. They live above excuses. They always see the positive side of everything and thus are willing to take opportunities head on. To be rich, you must begin to cut off every form of excuses, especially those which are negative and limiting in nature. Always see reasons why you should do that business, or invest in that portfolio, or go for that training, because your life can never be better than the risks you are willing to take for advancement. Time conscious. Time consciousness is a thing of character and mindset. This means time management and consciousness are not consistent with the character and nature of the poor. Whatever the reason, I'm not sure, but that you are broke should not necessarily mean you can't live to time. It is, however, what it is, as a general observation amongst the poor. Time consciousness is one of the hallmarks of successful and intentional living. The rich know that time is money, and the value of time is unquantifiable. Thus, a money tag cannot be placed on it. Nevertheless, they price their time highly. The rich realize that in dealing in business, you are not only priced for your skill, but you are also above all priced for your time, even though it is an invaluable parameter. Thus, they take their use of time very seriously. They never allow unplanned activities to jump into their schedules, and this will take the time they should spend on achieving other important goals. The poor, however, don't think this way. They don't care about giving into the spur of the moment activities like traveling for a burial that wasn't planned for, going for a hangout that wasn't in the schedule, etc. They live as it comes. If a friend wants to go for a wedding in another state and they are invited a day before, they are still ready to go because they do not value their time or place any premium on their plans, assuming they have one. A man or woman who jokes like this with time will hardly find success or build wealth, because time is money.